small carronade on the forecastle, unshipped from its carriage, and lashed down to ring-bolts on the deck. This Samoa now loaded, and with an axe, knocking off the round knob upon the breech, rammed it home in the tube. When running the cannon out at one of the ports, and studying well his aim, he let fly, sunk the boat, and buried his dead. It was now late in the afternoon, and for the present bent upon avoiding land and gaining the shoreless sea, never mind where, Samoa again forced round his craft before the wind, leaving the island astern. The decks were still cumbered with the bodies of Lahinese, which heel to point and crosswise had log-like been piled up on the main hatch. These, one by one, were committed to the sea, after which the decks were washed down. At sunrise next morning, finding themselves out of sight of land with little or no wind, they stopped their headway, and lashed the tiller alee, the better to enable them to overhaul the brigantine, especially the recesses of the cabin, for there were stores of goods adapted for barter among the islanders, also several bags of dollars. Now, nothing can exceed the cupidity of the Polynesian when, through partial commerce with the whites, his eyes are opened to his nakedness, and he perceives that in some things they are richer than himself. The poor skipper's wardrobe was first explored, his chests of clothes being capsized and their contents strewn about the cabin floor. Then took place the costuming. Samoa and Annatoo trying on coats and pantaloons, shirts and drawers, and admiring themselves in the little mirror panelled in the bulkhead. Then were broken open boxes and bales, rolls of printed cotton were inspected and vastly admired. As case after case was opened and overturned, slippery grew the cabin deck with torrents of glass beads, and heavy the necks of Samoa and Annatoo with goodly bunches thereof. Among other things came to light brass jewellery, rag fair gewgaws and baubles aplenty, more admired than all. Annatoo bedecking herself like a tragedy queen, one blaze of brass. Much mourned the merry dame that thus arrayed there was none to admire, but Samoa her husband, but he was all the while admiring himself, and not her. And here must needs be related what has hitherto remained unsaid. Very often this husband and wife were no Darby and Joan. Their married life was one long campaign, whereof the truces were only by night. They billed and they cooed on their arms, rising fresh in the morning to battle, and often Samoa got more than a henpecking. To be short, Annatoo was a Tartar, a regular Kalmuck, and Samoa, heaven help him, her husband. Yet a while joined together by a sense of common danger, and long engrossed in turning over their tinsel acquisitions, without present thought of proprietorship, the pair refrained from all squabbles. But soon burst the storm. Having given every bale and every case a good shaking, Annatoo, making an estimate of the whole, very coolly proceeded to set apart for herself whatever she fancied. To this Samoa objected, to which objection Annatoo objected, and then they went at it. The lady vowed that the things were no more Samoa's than hers, nay, not so much, and that whatever she wanted, the same would she have, and furthermore, by way of codicil, she declared that she was slave to nobody. Now Samoa, sad to tell, stood in no little awe of his bellicose spouse. What though a hero in other respects, what though he had slain his savages and gallantly carried his craft from their clutches, like the valiant Captains Marlborough and Belisarius, he was a poltroon to his wife, and Annatoo was worse than either Sarah or Antonina. However, like everything partaking of the nature of a scratch, most conjugal squabbles are quickly healed, for if they healed not, they would never anew break out, which is the beauty of the thing. So at length they made up, but the treaty stipulations of Annatoo told much against the interests of Samoa. Nevertheless, ostensibly, it was agreed upon that they should strictly go halves, the lady, however, laying special claim to certain valuables, more particularly fancied. But as a set-off to this, she generously renounced all claims upon the spare rigging, all claims upon the foremast and mainmast, and all claims upon the captain's arms and ammunition. Of the latter, by the way, Dame Antonina stood in no need. Her voice was a park of artillery, her talons a charge of bayonets. End of chapter 23.